Just because her husband peeled a shrimp for his female assistant at dinner, his wife bought 10 pounds of shrimp that night and dumped them right in front of him. Go ahead, peel every last one. Looks like you're pretty good at it. Turns out 3 hours earlier at a company dinner, the woman had suddenly shown up as the CEO's wife, and every employee immediately stood up to greet her. But the new assistant, Xu Qiao, was especially bold. Relying on her looks, she acted all sweet in front of everyone and asked the CEO to peel shrimp for her. What shocked the woman even more was that her husband, who always claimed to have serious OCD and never touched greasy food, actually put on gloves and carefully started peeling for Xu Qiao. Go buy 10 pounds of fresh shrimp. Seeing that the woman didn't react at all, Xu Qiao figured she was just some useless housewife. So she started throwing shade, saying it must be nice to live off your husband as a rich wife. But the moment she said that, all the longtime employees nearby went pale. They quickly revealed the woman's real identity. She wasn't a housewife at all, but the sole heir to Ning Group. Back when she and her husband married, she wasn't clinging to him. It was a powerful alliance between two business empires. After learning the truth, Xu Qiao was instantly humiliated. Everyone there told her to apologize, and even the CEO she was counting on changed his expression. With no other choice, Xu Qiao finally lowered her head and apologized, unwilling as she was. She thought it was over, but that night, as soon as the CEO stepped through the door, the woman ordered the maid to bring over the 10 pounds of shrimp prepared in advance and place them neatly in front of him. The CEO knew very well that she was still angry about what happened at dinner, so he quickly tried to explain. Xu Qiao is just a fresh graduate and an intern. She doesn't know any better. I was just helping her out. Back then, out of all the men I could have married, I chose you because you were clean and knew your boundaries. I have standards too. Today is your first warning and your first mistake. Peel all of these shrimp. After she turned and went back to the bedroom, the CEO could only sit in the living room and peel them one by one. The next morning, the woman looked at the shrimp he had peeled all night and didn't hesitate for a second. She told the maid to take them all back and share them with the family. She thought this lesson would make the CEO remember his place. But who would have thought that a month later, when he drove over to take her to the Liu family dinner, she had just walked out the door when she saw Xu Qiao sitting openly in the passenger seat that should have belonged to her. When the woman questioned her, Xu Qiao put on an act and said she got carsick, so she had to sit up front. She instinctively turned to the CEO, hoping he would back her up. But after the CEO glanced at the woman's icy face, he immediately told Xu Qiao to get out. Just as Xu Qiao was about to move to the back seat, the woman stopped her on the spot, threw a few $100s at her, and told her to get her own cab. She even mocked the CEO's company, saying its benefits were so bad it couldn't even cover an employee's cab fare. Then she boldly announced on the spot that she would use Ning Group's money to raise the transportation allowance for every employee at the CEO's company. On the way, the CEO still wanted to put in a good word for Xu Qiao, but the woman told him, "The passenger seat is like a husband's arms. Once another woman sits there, it feels dirty to me. This is your second mistake. Everyone around you only gets 3 chances." At the family dinner, his sharp-eyed mother couldn't stop praising this capable daughter-in-law because the joint project between the two families had become a huge success under her leadership. At the same time, his mother casually announced that the company had already fired Xu Qiao, that clueless intern. She even warned her own son to read the room and not throw away his future and the family's future over some small fry. But instead of appreciating it, the CEO angrily questioned the woman after the dinner, convinced that she had been pulling strings behind the scenes. Looking at the CEO, who had completely lost his senses, the woman calmly asked whether he was angry because his mother had interfered in company affairs, or because he felt bad that his little assistant had lost her job. After saying that, she took off her wedding ring. 3 chances, you forgot again.